Feel better?
Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This time I will make a review of a movie named Tomb Invader. By its name and cover we know immediately that is a bad imitation of Tomb Raider. You know what is funny? The protagonist doesn't even use the outfit and the dual pistols in the movie. Apparently it was just for the cover. In the movie she wears an outfit similar to the 2013 Lara. She never uses guns and there is a part where she wears a braid. I bet that for the name of the movie they just researched the word Raider and discovered Invader, that kinda means the same thing and also has a similar sound. Another ironic fact is that this movie was released in 2018. The same year as the Tomb Raider film with Alicia Vikander. This movie was made by a company named Asylum that does awful movies. Most of them are rip-offs of popular movies. To be honest, this wasn't the first movie I saw from them. I've already seen their most famous movie called Sharknado. It is a movie about how a tornado with sharks inside it's Los Angeles and creates chaos. That movie got 5 sequels. Yeah, that's crazy. And it was so bad that it was funny, you know, and I think that is why it got all those sequels that I didn't feel like watching. It was probably more of the same and it would stop being funny. Tomb Invader is bad and not funny. It is a must not watch. But I'm a curious person, so I watched it despite the bad reviews. So the story starts with the mother of the protagonist exploring a tomb with another woman and man, looking for the heart of the dragon. They all die. While the mother was running from the collapsing temple, the floor behind her is cracking. She falls and it seems that the cracking floor waits for her to get up. Yeah, makes no damn sense. Apparently she also dies, but we don't see how. After this introduction, the story focuses on the protagonist named Alabama, which I had a problem writing her name in the script. I always mix the letters and I don't know, it sounds weird. It's a weird name, I don't know. So Alabama is just like her mother. She loves archaeology, adventures and puzzles. We see her exploring a place. For some reason she seems to want to smile while doing this, and then the way she avoids the traps is terrible. After that, a guy that wants her box appears, but for some stupid reason he doesn't try to get the box while she's laying on the floor. He kindly waits for her to get up to tell her to give him the box. Of course she says no and they fight. I find it ridiculous how she managed to disarm 2 men and convinced a woman to fight without guns. With her enemies defeated, she just ran from there instead of using a vehicle. Maybe the producers had no money for that, so she just runs. The movie proceeds with Alabama giving a lecture, but since the writer was probably lazy, we never get any story about the artifacts. We never know how they work and what they do. So Alabama never gets a chance to say something interesting or smart. A woman that works for a businessman gives to Alabama the journal of her mother as a way to convince her to go on a trip to find the same artifact as her mother was also looking for. Does this also ring a bell? Lara finishing what her father started by using his journal to guide her. Yeah, basically it is the same, very original. Of course she ends up accepting, but she goes with the condition of bringing also her 2 best friends to meet the businessman named Tim. A very intimidating name for a villain, yeah. she encounters a mercenary that works for Tim, and can you guess his name? It is the name of a famous protagonist that also searched for artifacts. If you said Nathan, you are right. If you said Indiana Jones, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Now, this is the perfect time to mention that the best friend of Alabama is named Elena.
Should have seen that one coming. Ugh.
Nathan and Alabama end up as a bit of a romantic pair. It seems kinda like a bad fan fiction. Later, when all the characters are together in the camp, they are attacked by locals. They kill by accident the woman that gave the journal to Alabama, and they manage to kidnap Nathan in this happy way. They are just walking. I had to repeat this scene just to be sure of what I watched, because that didn't look like a kidnapping. For no one's surprise, Alabama is the one who saves him. But before that, she somehow also gets caught and doesn't even try to fight, which is ironic since they don't have any guns. In the beginning of the movie, she fights armed mercenaries. After some chatting, she finally decides to fight them all, while Nathan runs away. After dealing with the locals, she runs and joins the group again, but the locals reach them again and convince them to work together. So they find the temple where the artifact is. The puzzle to open the main door is pushing levers, which is very complex. Locals decide to stay outside, waiting while the others enter the temple. But before that, the local leader makes Alabama say a Chinese prayer before entering. Inside the temple, one of her friends dies from a poison dart. Tim asks for a map and continues alone. Watching the girls crying, Nathan reveals that Tim wanted the artifact to get even more rich and decides to help the girls instead of him. Next, Alabama encounters a necklace with her mother's photo. Doesn't this remind you of the first Tomb Raider movie? Moving on, they manage to understand the puzzles thanks to the prayer of the local leader and get the art of the dragon. But not long after that, Tim manages to steal it. The scene of him holding Nathan is... I don't have words to describe it. It's just better if you watch it. And you make your own judgment. Meanwhile, a statue comes to life. Alabama defeats it, and a secret chamber opens with the real heart of the dragon. That is actually a sword. Like always, after that, the temple starts to collapse, and Tim has a very stupid and unoriginal death. The protagonist gives the sword back to the locals that apparently wanted that artifact so they could restore order in their country. The movie never bothered to explain what their problem was, and whoa, just look at the quality of that sword. The movie ends up with her doing another lecture where she basically says nothing and gets interrupted again because of a new adventure that came up. This movie is terrible. There wasn't anything good about it. Sometimes bad movies tend to be funny, but this is not the case. The story, the characters, the action, the visuals, all terrible. It was a bit annoying to see Nathan being so useless, like how that can be when you are a mercenary. Makes no sense. They don't even bother to explore the story and the powers behind the artifacts, which are things that usually are very interesting and would make the movie way better. Never again I will see this. I just saw it because of the cover, which is kinda a bait since you don't see the protagonist like that in the movie. I will be honest, since this was made from the same company that made Sharknado or Sharknado, I was expecting a bad but funny film. But no, it wasn't funny nor fun. So what are your thoughts about this? Would you dare to watch this? And like always, don't forget to leave a like because that helps my video reach more people. YouTube sees that people are liking the video, so it shows to more people. Also, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, bye bye!